All right, welcome to Tennis Sucks, a pickleball podcast by a great Travis Graham. Let me do that one more time.
I'll try that one more time.
Welcome to Tennis Sucks, a pickleball podcast by Travis Rettenmeyer and Graham D'Amico. We are in the backyard of Travis's house. Not quite as many palm trees as Graham's, but
Graham's is better.
Still room for improvement. But we're here because we have a special guest coming on soon, which we'll talk about. I don't know. Do you guys have anything that you want to quickly start things off with?
Well, the draft has been announced for MLP. That's huge.
Yeah, we got North Carolina the 2nd of April and the 3rd for Challenger.
The 3rd's probably important for you.
Probably. I mean, the way I've been playing, I deserve Challenger.
But no, that's really exciting, right? I was only 2 months off.
Although, did you see the stats thing?
No. More Real Clear Stats. Do you own a piece of that company?
Number 2. Numero dos, okay?
All right.
I don't own a piece, but fucking I should.
Speaking of which, we got the Real Clear Stats.
Yeah.
We have access now.
So yeah, draft is in North Carolina, April 2nd and 3rd. First event is Atlanta?
Yep.
Atlanta in May. So season's kicking off. We got the schedule. It's starting. And we're starting, I guess, with kind of a promo in Miami next week during the Miami Tennis Open with the Miami Open Showcase. That should be cool.
And you're going to that, right?
I'm going to that, yeah.
I plan on going too.
Good. You should.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is going to happen? It's a showcase?
Yeah, essentially they're doing like a mini MLP event at the Miami Open just to showcase the players, showcase the format, showcase the event, and promote it in conjunction with tennis.
Do you know who's going to play?
I don't know all the players. I know Anna Bright's in it. Michelle Esquivel is on my squad. I think Federico and Pablo are in it, but I don't know the majority of the players.
So it's like a proper pro.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's 8 to 12 pros, and we'll all be there for 3 days.
Wow.
And they're having like a big like pickleball convention, sort of. Racket X. That's it happens every year.
No, it's the first time.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of pickleball, not just tennis people will be there. There'll be a lot of pickleball vendors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pickleball, tennis, ping pong, all racket sports.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I want to go to that too.
I think it's gonna be really cool.
It's still going on. Yeah, that's neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That's this weekend in Miami.
Yes, I leave Sunday night.
Got it. Yeah.
First event with Engage is Sunday night.
Nice. Yeah. The Dink will be there too. And there's a big panel with MLP, PPA,
Right,
APP, USA Pickleball.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going also?
I'm going to be in Miami, but not for Racket X.
What are you going to be there for?
Miami Music Week.
Fucking guys gonna be raging. I mean, I could have told you that. As soon as you said, of course, it's ultra.
So where should I go if I'm there for what's the underground after scene, not the major?
Oh, is that what you're into?
Yeah, that's what I'm into. More
I
of
want
that.
the underground
I like
shit
the
too.
late night small stuff
I
where like
like
the
that.
DJs sneak to, and they
yeah.
pop in at 3 o'clock.
I'll have to let you know. The 3 a.m. to
Do you
7
know?
a.m. sets.
Do you know about those?
Sure I do.
Of course he does. Yeah.
He also knows he does right through the next day, 7 a.m. to the 10 a.m.
If
brunch
Luke
set.
is gone for a portion of time, it's because he's raging.
Yeah.
Listening to music, he says.
I'll have to let you know. But actually, speaking of the Dink, we're back on our channel. This is back on Tennis Sucks YouTube. So yeah, it was a good stint putting us on the Dink. But
appreciate it.
We're back. Go support the Dink somehow. Go subscribe to the newsletter or buy a Pickleball box. But we're good to be back on our channel. So yeah. So
Can we do a quick recap of the weekend?
yeah,
It was
please.
bizarre,
Yeah.
Right? Let's just do a quick one. Anna Lee lost twice. Only 2 events she was in, both on Monday. Rohrbacher, who we're very fond of, and Anna Bright, also very fond of, took down Catherine and Anna Lee in 4 games.
Yeah.
And you would think like that's the story of the event, but it's not. Andre Daescu is the story of the event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a fucking monster.
Double gold.
Double gold. Beats Ben and Anna Lee in 3 straight games. Just looks like he doesn't miss. Super competitive, super professional. Couldn't be playing better. Couldn't be a nicer guy. And yeah, he just made James Ignatovich look like James is dog shit.
What are his stats? What are Andre Daescu's stats? Are you a big fan of Real Clear Stats? I know you always rank high in it, but do you believe in it? Do you think it's a resource that should be used for drafting teams?
I think it has some merit. I think it needs to be adjusted slightly because like there's certain parameters that it doesn't indicate. I don't think. But I'd have to ask more of the Real Clear Stat guys exactly how they come up with the numbers.
I mean, now that I'm looking at them, I realize the Hard Eights, which, Challenger team, they basically picked
Exactly.
the 4 top people. and they went undefeated. So
There you go.
testament to that,
Yeah.
right? But do you know how Dayskew does in those stats?
He's high.
Yeah, it's got to be,
He's
right?
a top 10er.
Yeah. It's
he-
wild how good he is.
What do you think he's done differently to be able to come in and just absolutely destroy?
Well, I have this theory about like an MLP bump, like a real bump, not Crescent Lake bump, but that, and I don't know the exact reasoning for it, but if you do well in MLP, because you get partners that you might not have, right? Better partners than you're used to. But if you win, if you notice the trend of people who win at MLP, the several months after that, they start having, it's like, it snowballs. And I don't know if it's because maybe they got some money. So the stress of winning money kind of goes away a little bit. You know, if you put
It's
60
not
to
that.
100,000 in your pocket, it's not, you know what I mean? Like,
It's just a confy build, man. It's just confidence.
I mean,
Confidence is everything.
but think about it. All 4 squeeze players,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then Christian Alshon.
Yep.
We can't see Ryan Newman because he's not there, but Christian Alshon, you know, busting out of the seams right now. So
Yeah.
all those people that did well in MLP are doing really well on all the tours,
yeah.
which is testament to those wins, I think.
And I'm just kidding. James Ignatovich, obviously a great player, but very funny that Andre comes in and
Right.
goes gold with both his partners.
Yeah.
But
People
obviously
love that.
James is a monster.
It was wild. The conditions were pretty poor though, playing over this weekend,
Yeah, it
right?
was terrible. Windy, rain.
Conditions are always bad. What is
no,
that
no, no.
complaint?
This was worse.
Worse
I mean-
than, I mean, it seems like every event you go to, the conditions are terrible.
No, it's not
Right?
true. No, I mean like cold is cold, but it's just cold. You know, like this was windy, rainy, hard to practice. It was just a-
Did you play at Dreamland for some of
I
your
did.
matches?
Yeah, I played Dreamland for my men's match.
For your men's match.
Yeah. And there we kind of had a bad break. Like we got a default our first round. Pat and Connor played on the court that we played on right before we played. So they literally just won and stayed on the court. And Augie and I had hit 5 balls walking out to the court. And it was like, shit. It took a minute to kind of get adjusted.
Yeah.
So how was Augie?
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Very cerebral guy, very accountable, very professional. I think reads the game really well. He went to Beijing, as you know, like I for whatever reason, had this happen to me. But for 7 days, he had to go to Beijing for something. So he was flying into Austin from Beijing, hadn't played much. So he was a little rusty, but his decision-making process and his game are really exciting. I think he's really, really good.
What's his size? Is he like, I've never
He's
seen
my
him
size.
live.
He's a big boy.
Oh, he's big.
Yeah, he's
you're
big.
not. Oh, you're not a big boy. Andre Dayskew's a big boy. You're
Jack Sock's a big boy.
Jack Sock's a big boy. You're a
I'm mediocre.
slightly bigger than average guy.
Bigger than you. As long as I'm bigger than you.
That's not true. I'm taller and bigger than you.
You're not. Let's go. Scales right there.
I'll get on the scale, big boy.
Okay, now I'm a little scared. All right, let's talk about our guests. So, excitingly, we have Jack Sock coming on, who Graham is ultra familiar with
Huge fan of Jack Sock
as a pickleball player.
as a pickleball player.
Knows nothing about him as a tennis player. Like, literally nada. Didn't even know tennis was an Olympic sport. And Jack's a gold medalist.
Did you know?
Wow.
Did you know that tennis is an Olympic sport?
I mean, I would have assumed, but
Assumed or you knew?
I mean, like,
You've watched some Olympic tennis before?
if you would ask, I don't know, I don't know, maybe. If you had said like, is tennis Olympic sport, I would have been like, yeah, I'm 99% certain it would be. Why wouldn't it be?
No, I just never thought. I've never seen it. I've never watched an Olympic tennis match.
I have.
I really don't watch
Yeah.
any
A lot
of
tennis
them.
matches. Period.
I think it's because, well, for the Olympics, mostly I'm watching like the stuff that you don't get to normally see.
Swimming, gymnastics.
Right.
thing.
Yeah. So, like, but if I want to watch tennis, I'd watch like Wimbledon or something.
Yeah, same.
So,
I think that's
but yeah, I didn't know that Jack Sockett was a gold medalist. That's
Yeah,
cool.
gold medalist in mixed, and then I think he's bronze in men's dubs. So he's
Interesting.
got 2 medals sitting in his house.
Do you think that tennis players who medal more in doubles transition to pickleball better than people?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, doubles players are better because their skill set is more catered. That's where Jack is unique. He's got great hands, but he's very fast and agile. Hence, he was very good in men's singles as well.
Oh, okay, he was.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was 8 in the world
In what? In singles?
in singles.
Yeah, he was 8 in singles and 2 in doubles.
Yeah, but he was the best doubles player in the world.
Well, then why was he 2?
Because he didn't play enough events.
Oh.
He was still focusing on his singles, so he didn't play like a full schedule like the other guy.
And then he got injured a couple years back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then he made a comeback.
Correct.
Did he climb from that injury
No,
or not quite the
like,
same?
Not like he did. No.
What was the injury?
I don't know. You can ask him.
Oh, yeah.
No clue. But yeah, he didn't quite get. I think he got back to top 100, but it was never the same. It's hard once you like make that entry and then you exit. Very, very hard to do it again.
Yeah. Who was his main partner?
Vasek Pospisil and Mike Bryan for one.
Oh, the Bryan brothers.
Bob was out and he played with Mike and they won the U.S. Open.
Oh, that's huge. I got another question for you. What does the number 2 doubles guy in tennis make a year without sponsors? I know sponsors probably more than the actual winnings, right?
Number 2 guy, probably a couple $1 million.
In winnings?
In winnings, just in prize money,
Yeah, like prize money.
probably over $1 million.
Wow. All right.
Probably
Wild.
1.5, I guess. I mean, if
Gotcha.
you win a slam, it's like, I don't know, 350 grand.
In doubles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Big money.
Yeah, that's real money. What do I want to ask him? Well, I wrote a couple of my in the notes here. The big one I'm noticing with him is it feels like he's having fun,
So much fun.
right?
Yeah. Enjoy
And
to watch.
I feel like you used to be more like that when you first came into pickleball because you didn't have, I don't think you had these huge expectations. You're just like, I'm good. I'm going to go have fun. It's a new career for me. And, you let loose. And as time goes on, it's become maybe more stressful.
No question.
the
Yeah, it's
winning.
something I have to
And
get back to.
yeah, it's like not as fun for you. But I see Jack out there and he's like a child.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of players that are winning right now kind of have that, exude that same like positivity and
Sure.
exuberance and childlike mentality. And I'd like to talk to him about that because I think that's what fans are attracted to
No
with
question.
him.
Yeah.
Like he's a great player, but he's having a ton of fun.
There he is.
Was he like that in tennis?
Yeah. I mean, he was always like, Showtime boy. What up, Jack?
Let's go.
Well, I mean, we'll label you real good. I think when you were young, even like you had a taste for the spotlight, right? Like you were kind of more of a showman than anything. Like I think that was always a part of your persona. It wasn't always rigid and maybe the most regimented to some extent, but it looked like you were enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably label it as unorthodox a little bit compared to the standard of what it felt. Yeah, it felt like if you weren't kind of in the you weren't doing exactly what the top players are doing. If you smiled on the court, you weren't taking it serious.
Right,
If you weren't I don't know, hugging trees and gluten free and doing all the crazy stuff, maybe you weren't
Taking it
you
seriously.
weren't giving it your best. But I would say I had a great ride. Pretty proud of the things I accomplished. Yeah, wouldn't change how it went.
Yeah, Graham here didn't even know that tennis was an Olympic sport. So when I said you won 2 medals, he said, tennis is in the Olympics? Like, yeah, it is.
I had never thought about
So
it.
he's a big fan of yours, purely pickleball, not tennis related. Like, never saw you hit a ball. Doesn't know that guy. Has no clue who that guy is.
There's a medal.
Beautiful.
There's a medal on that
Beautiful.
one there.
Congratulations. Your country thanks you.
Yeah, pickleball better become an Olympic sport. That'd be sick.
Well, it was supposed to, but we didn't have participation for international. Like, they didn't meet the requirements international. Ludicrous. That would have been sick if you could go 2 sports. That would have been nasty.
What I was saying to Travis was, it seems like players, I'm thinking like Anna Bright, Rachel Rohrbacher, Gabe Tardio, they're all kind of like these like, having fun, childish, exuberant feeling to them, not more serious players, and they're winning a lot. And I'm wondering, is it like, are they having fun because they're winning, or are they winning because they're not, as stressed about winning, they're just having fun?
I don't know. I haven't probably seen like a Gabe Tardio play enough yet. He does seem like he is a little more relaxed out there. I would venture to say I think Anna Bright's a really good player, but she seems very serious out there, and maybe that's just.
Yeah, no, she is.
I wouldn't.
For sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't maybe
Oh, okay.
classify her in the fun category. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but she just seems very intense. Like obviously she wants to win. She'll get into it. Big come-ons, all that.
I guess the positive is the it's like they're like you're dancing out there in between points or playing left-handed for a point, or it's like you're taking it seriously, but you're having fun while doing it, and that's doing something, right? It's creating some.
For me it was a big goal of mine, and obviously Travis can attest to this as well, that we played tennis for so long. It is junior tennis, and kind of working your way up, kind of going through that process is a blast. Every tournament is so fun. Junior tournaments, nationals. If you're able to turn pro and you go down that route and that path, that's a whole new challenge. It's a whole new thing that you have to try to overcome and you want to accomplish, and that's fun as well. And yeah, of course, you're young. If you're young and you're traveling the world, you get to see these amazing places. You're playing some incredible tournaments. It the whole thing's a blessing. Very fortunate to have done it. I do feel like there's maybe a time in there it turns
Yeah, that's what I was asked.
like
When
I'm
did it turn
assuming a
like
lot of
job-like
profession.
for you?
What's that?
When did it turn job-like for you, where it wasn't that fun anymore?
It was. It was probably. It was definitely some of the injuries. Obviously, didn't help. I mean, when you and things are going. I mean, I was rising. I was peaking. I had my best year in 2017, and I had just a pretty average year to follow up in 2018, and then thumb surgery to start 2019, and I go from you know top 10 in the world to top 50 in the world to unranked in a matter of you know 18 months or whatever it was, 12 months. And it was just,
I think when we
yeah,
spoke in Vegas like a year and a half ago, you had already kind of decided that you were going to give tennis one more year, but that you loved pickleball, right?
yeah,
And I think as a viewer, like as a fan of tennis, as I was and to some extent still am, like I would watch it, it always looked like you were having a good time. And then in the last few years watching you, you could see like the joy kind of goes away. It's just like, fuck, this is a week in, week out, a grind. You're away from your
yeah,
friends, away from the family. And I think what Graham is like touching on for me is when I first started pickle a year and a half ago when you and I talked, it was like the greatest thing in the world. And it still is. Like I love pickle. But at the same
yeah,
time, I play now every fucking week. I'm away from my kid
yeah,
at times. It starts to become less fun, just less joyful. And it's like for me, I'm trying to figure out how to retain that while I play. And and
yeah,
and like, are you concerned about that with pickle at all? Because I think you told me, which I thought was a great quote. You said, "There's no chance I'll ever get to this where it's not fun anymore." Something like that. Like that was your primary goal.
right. Yeah, and honestly, it was. I think, and what I was kind of going to allude to there when I was talking about the injuries and stuff in tennis, that definitely takes some joy out of it. I think just naturally when like I said, you go from a very high ranking to unranked because I think the ranking system in tennis when you have a major injury, I think it's a little can be a little unfair at times because then you're only working with a certain amount of tournaments to get your points back when you do get back, and it's kind of you basically start over like I did.
Yeah.
I was fortunate to get wild cards into some challengers and some 250s and stuff to try to help. But I mean, if you don't have that help, you're literally starting back at like futures where we all started when you're turning pro the first time.
That's hell.
So it's almost it's a complete reset. Um, and I had some great results. I had unfortunately a couple years ago at Wimbledon when they didn't award the points to players. It was just prize money. That was almost a little bit of a turning point for me
What'd you make? What round?
because I had qualified, made third round, had break point to serve for the fourth round, but that would have solidified me back in the top 100, back in all the tournaments, and
Hmm.
that I think that would have changed things. And I kind of just hovered in that 105 to 135 range that
Yeah, so right on the
a lot of
button.
people get. Yeah, a lot of people get stuck, and you're not directly in slams, but you're kind of still challengers mainly, and um, yeah. Anyways, long story short, yeah, it definitely. I think the whole grind back, and I did. I gave it a great go. I put in some really good off seasons to give it another year or two and try. But yeah, I think that grind that you're talking about of week in and week out of the tennis side of it is far more strenuous and exhausting than the pickle side of it. Um, but my main thing from tennis into pickle was taking my doubles attitude and kind of personality from tennis, which I think resulted in a lot, which gave me a lot of great results in doubles. Was kind of how I am in pickle to a degree. Is like I just want to smile. You have someone with you, you're having a blast. You might hit unconventional shots. They may work, they may not, but you're just enjoying yourself. You're enjoying the moment, and I think that is also for me personally when I produce my best product on the court, whether it was tennis or pickle or whatever. So yeah, my main goal honestly was to smile, to smile, engage with the crowd and engage with the opponents, and I love the fun chirping side of it at times, and the give and the take, and having playing with a good buddy in Shicky, and the single side of it is fun, and yeah, I think that's my main goal. I'm not. I think the quote you were talking about, I won't get to the point where yeah, you're not in that joyful state on the court, because then
And it
kind of like
sucks.
tennis, I would rather do something else.
Yeah,
I don't.
agreed.
What about, are you going to play MLP?
I don't. Well, yeah, I don't know. I would absolutely love to. The concept of a team thing, I've always thoroughly enjoyed that, which is shocking because played an individual sport my whole life. But I love the team side of it. The Davis Cup, the Laver Cup experiences I had in tennis, I always felt like I brought my best stuff in those. You get to feed off the energy and everything with your team. And from what I've watched in MLP, it looks like a blast. From what I've heard from other players, it seems like a huge favorite amongst players to play. And it just it'll kind of depend on the schedule. I'm still kind of trying to understand what's going on. It sounds like it's going to be maybe 4 or 5 events.
So the draft for MLP is coming up in the first week of April, 2nd and 3rd. You'll make a decision before then, you think, whether or not you're going to make yourself eligible for that draft?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have to decide what I want to do. Like I said, I would love to play. I would think it'd be super enjoyable. I'd love to, yeah, battle with some teammates and have fun with the team side of it all. But for me, it's going to depend on schedule, just because
Yeah.
if it's extra. But I think some of them, it was like you might have to be at a location for like 10, 12 days now.
If you play the
instead
PPA
of-
after, it's like 10 days.
If you, yeah.
Yeah, which is I don't want to say not what I signed up for, but
Yeah.
it's
It's a lot. I
thought,
mean, what,
you
your
know,
kid is what, 3
yeah.
months old?
What's that?
How old's your kid?
Yeah, 4 month old.
That's a long time.
Yeah, especially because then some of the weeks then you're at home for a few days, and you got maybe go do it again, depending on
Correct.
the time of year and all that. So
It's worth it, Jack.
hey Jay, you don't have to tell me to pull my finger to play a team thing. Like I said, I think it'd be a blast. It's gonna have to depend on schedule a little bit, or maybe rearranging. Yeah, maybe how many PPAs I've been playing or something. I don't know.
I'm sad you didn't notice my shirt yet either. Did you notice the shirt?
I can't see you guys anymore.
Oh man, I got the query for Premiere. I'm repping him out.
All right, we're going to turn it back on
Gonna
and
try.
see how it
There
holds
we
up.
are.
See, your man right here. The most
There we
improved
are.
player
Like
in
that.
pickleball over the last 3 months.
The query.
He's shredding right now.
I think he's gotten better.
He has. I'm not kidding with the most improved in the last 3 months. I'm dead serious.
I think he's gotten a lot better.
Mixed is
actually.
his event. He's crushing it.
This is Winnie. She just came by to say hi.
Hi, Winnie. So, personal touch. Do you remember the match we played in Hawaii? I think you were 19.
In Honolulu, 2012.
There you fucking go. You remember.
Sure do.
Do you remember
Sure
trying to
do.
knock me on my block when you hit the forehand in the fence?
No, see, I don't remember a whole lot of the points, but I do remember the match. That's
So
for sure.
I don't remember a lot of the points either. I just remember that I think Delic and I were up like, I don't know, won the first set, maybe on serve in the second, or it just broke. And you took a forehand from like mid-range between service line and baseline and tried to hit.
little
Just
speed up
fucking
action.
Full speed up with some deception. Same take back,
Full
good
speed
deception.
up off the bounce. Yeah.
And I literally had the matrix fall down. Ball went straight in the fence. I remember looking at Delic. I was like, shit, dude, that's the biggest forehand I've ever fucking seen. I wasn't even mad. It was more just like, wow, that's some speed. That's terrifying.
That was that was my nasty Nelson to you 12 years ago.
I'm
12 years
so
later,
sad
which-
I missed that still. He pays me for
You
it.
had me bad,
Dude, I
man.
fucking
me
had
bad.
you.
Holy
1
cow.
inch. If
Bad.
the serving rule wasn't in place there, I got you for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Damn
I still hit the tape. Or, I mean,
Yeah.
it was like it was rising.
It was rising. Dude. It was good. It was cocked.
You had me good.
How'd you start pickle? So when I know you started like a few years ago when
Oh
you were
man,
playing.
yeah. So I honestly, the first time I ever played pickle was I guess probably like a lot of people. I was still living in Kansas City, and it was like the neighborhood country club courts. Like the guys I played golf with, between 40 and 60 years old. Like we played, and they had been playing pickle for a while. I got out there, um, figured it would be fairly straightforward. These guys like played every week.
Right.
They're like, come try it out. I got this 55-year-old guy, double Under Armour wristband all the way down the thing, just lit me up, and I was like, "What is going on?"
I do.
Um, so yeah, that was my first kind of taste of it, and then it was very recreational from there. Probably I maybe played a couple times a year, and then when I got to Charlotte, um, trying to think, I was training in the off season, probably I don't even know. And I was actually at the Lifetime that they had the tournament at last year, training tennis in the off season indoors, and that's actually when I saw Brooke Buckner for the first time, and she was coaching. She was helping coaching the Charlotte tennis team, and like we said hi. I remember her from junior tennis, and she said she was like kind of getting into pickle, and then the club that we used to live at here out here, she was up there playing like legit pickle with people, and I was like kind of getting into like the playing with the golf guys that I played with here, and I was not good. Didn't know how to dink, reset, anything. I saw them playing, and they were like, tried to jump into them, got obliterated, and then that's kind of got me motivated. I was like, well, like I think I should be better than this. So I started trying to jump in with them, which was probably hurting their improvement and practices. But I tried to jump in with them because, like anything, you play with better people, you're going to get better quick. And started jumping with them and started playing maybe once or twice a month, and then it kind of progressed into a little bit more. And then obviously when the North Carolina tournament last year became a thing, that was when probably for a few months prior to that is when I started putting in like legit practice time, and didn't want to embarrass myself or not get Analia gold medal, or at least attempt. So
What's your practice regimen now? Like
we got
Brooke said, you guys
probably
play at your house all the time, right? You built a court there.
put a court in my backyard, for personal and family. Honestly, my father-in-law loves it, so that's fun. He's got a group that he plays with all the time. Actually, Laura's a fan of it as well. It was tough, obviously, being pregnant while the court was in and everything. She wasn't able to play, but now she gets out there a little bit. Yeah, we got the Charlotte crew. We're probably out there 3 to 5 days a week, I would say.
That's solid.
Kind of depending, like, yeah, like come back from a tournament. Yeah, probably, yeah, not going to play for a couple of days or something, and then, yeah, get back into it. And we probably go 2.5 hours each time.
Well,
Maybe,
the reason
and
I
then do
ask is
some,
because, like, obviously, I was a critique of the backhand dink, which was even acknowledged after North Carolina last year. And then the game
yeah,
kind of evolved, right? All these guys started adding this little 2E dink cross, which, makes sense if you can control it. And it seemed
absolutely.
like from the Masters to what was the next one? I don't think it was Desert Ridge. It was Mesa. You started hitting
Yep.
2Es, which you hadn't done before.
Yeah.
So was that like an easy transition for you? Was it something you were conscious of watching James and them, or were you just logging hours and going dit, dit, dit?
Yeah, it was probably a combo of a lot of it. I from North Carolina last year. I don't know if we already talked about this a little bit, but from North Carolina last year to the Masters, to my first kind of official and start of a season, I felt like pickleball was completely different in that sense. Like I was like, I understand why people are wearing shades now and wearing goggles, and some of the balls being hit at the Masters were was terrifying at times. Especially James. Obviously, he can produce his own power. I do think, obviously, as we all know, paddles play a big part of it now, or the main part of it. But yeah, I think I got frustrated at the Masters when I got into some hands battles, and I got into some dinking stuff where I felt like I just legitimately almost like
We're
couldn't stand a
disadvantaged.
chance at times.
Yeah.
With the speed of things were going. James's little two-handed roll
It's disgusting.
was it legitimately pushes you off the kitchen line, and then if you're back here trying to play something soft, it's like you're
No,
not
you're
gonna win that.
well, that's why you run around and hit so many forehands. But obviously, then you're kind of taking yourself out of the court to some extent. And
But
so
you
it's
also
like,
can't do that when James hits some of those that are that
No,
good. You
not
can't even
possible.
get around it at times, and then you're stuck. And then, so yeah, honestly, I think it pissed me off enough playing there that I got back and I was like, I will get some sort of version of this for the next tournament, and obviously keep working on it.
yeah,
But I'm gonna try to add this to the arsenal as soon as possible. And obviously having Schick here, who does his little thing, he's got
His
a
is
nasty
nasty,
little
yeah.
topspin
Yeah.
backhand. Brooks got a sweet one as well. And Roddy, so I have people that, I need to get better at it quick, or else it doesn't really give them much of a practice. So yeah, it
Right.
was a combo of motivated from the Masters and just seeing how the game is now and just putting the reps in at home on it. Yeah.
How do you rate the transition so far? Like, I mean, obviously you have a extreme athletic pedigree. You're a large guy. We've discussed this. Stacked, move very
Yeah.
well still. Jack
Soft
with
in
a
some
little-
areas, but big. Yeah.
I mean, but still fucking moving, like still moving very impressively. But how would you rate the transition? Like what do you want to accomplish in pickle? Do you see yourself as the best guy? Do you want that? Like, I mean, Sam kind of came on here and said 95% of your guys' conversation is pickleball related and that you're obsessed with it, which I think you've kind of relayed to me as well, which is pretty clear. You obviously really enjoy it. So what do you want? Like, is it what you expected so far? Are things harder than you anticipated? Are they easier?
I would say, the Masters. To be honest, I would say I expected to do solid in singles. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't say I expected to maybe. I think I've semi'd of each tournament I've played. I wouldn't say I necessarily expected that because we don't really play singles. Colin and I will get out there and play some from time to time, but I enjoy the aspect of singles of the creativity of it and the for me the cat and mouse from the baseline of hitting forehands and stuff but I would say the transition has been kind of on par maybe with what I expect. I think there was a lot of expectation
There's a
there,
ton.
which I don't. Maybe in tennis, I would have looked into more or thought about more. I don't really care what people think.
Do
or
you
say.
want to be the best guy? Like, is that your objective? Do you want Jack Sock as the best pickleball player in the world?
I would say I'm striving for that.
But fun
it's
is
not
still the
something
priority,
that-
right? Like, it's like fun,
Right. I want to.
ranking, whatever.
Yeah, I want to kind of. I want to. Well, honestly, I want to be a little bit. I want to be a bridge between tennis and pickle to a degree where why can't we can all just enjoy the sports? Doesn't need to be a negativity there. I want to be a positive, influence from a transition from tennis to pickle. I would like to be, one of the main guys, in all of the events for sure. I think my mixed and men's doubles results so far have been part disappointing, part still just playing people. I mean, I'm still playing people every week that I've never played.
Right.
Still getting used to it all to a degree, but I also don't think I'm far away by any means.
No, you're not. For sure not.
I just think with a little time, a little more just experience playing those, and maybe not playing Thomas Wilson in the second round of any tournament would be nice. Men's doubles and
Guys playing pretty good.
Yeah, and I do feel like the matches we've lost, people have played very well. In the matches we played, I think we had a chance to obviously with to have a chance to have a big mixed win there in Mesa over.
I think that was your best match from my view.
Yeah, I think I think that was a good one. I think honestly, even the match before, it was a very solidified team in Jay and Callie Joe. I thought was honestly that was one of the more I was happy with that result and the way that went. It felt like I was able to use that athleticism, use that aggression, um, kind of pick them apart a little bit to a degree. I don't
Yeah.
know if that sounds bad, but I mean, I
No,
felt
facts are facts.
very in control. I felt very in control of what was going on. And honestly, I think it's still getting used to the draws and stuff as well. I think it's slightly difficult when my first two events were progression draws. I'm playing with people that I've never played with before in tournaments, and it's slightly difficult when a first match in men's doubles or something. You feel kind of comfortable, and then you're all of a sudden you're thrown in the gauntlet against like a Ben and AL or into Thomas and Riley. We had twice in a row, and it's all of a sudden you got to like lock things in and play very smart, play not play too loose at all. So it's still learning curve in that sense for sure. But like I said, I don't think I'm far off from having some big deeper results, I guess.
How do you pick your partners?
In another thing, this was like tennis doubles for me. You may have opportunity to play with a very high ranked player that, like I said, is maybe very
Rigid.
very in their, very rigid, very in their tennis zone. I would much prefer to play with either someone I'm close with, a friend, someone I'm going to have fun with, someone that's going to enjoy being out there on the court. The last thing I want to do is not enjoy myself, feel miserable out there, and in turn not play great. Because that's
it's funny how they coexist. They really do. Like it's if you're enjoying it, it's hard to play bad.
Yeah, I mean, and then if you win or lose, if you lose, you walk up the court like Shicky and I. We walked up the court after losing to Thomas and Hunter last weekend, and we were like, that was a blast. Honestly, like we had fun. Like we had fun. We had lost. We had chances. We were up 7-6 in the third, and I felt good about maybe our path to playing on the weekend, and but we walked up the court and dabbed each other up. And we're like, dude, that was a blast. That felt like backyard pickleball.
That's really cool.
So yeah.
Okay, so why were you playing left with Julian? That's what we don't understand. Like no one understands that. And did you keep your band as the right side beta? Did you keep it as a souvenir
server's band
for the time that you were the right side beta boy and you let the 5'9" guy to your left?
Oh man.
I mean, I walked over down 6-1 game 2 and I thought it was like a switch. And then you won like 7 points in a row on the left and somehow you ended up on the right again. And I looked at you and I said, what the fuck are you doing on the left?
Yeah, you know what, I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed the event with Julian.
You looked weird over there, dude. You looked very weird over there. You just looked weird over there. You looked so stationary and boring.
I was a little bit on the island.
Yeah.
I forgot what a forehand was. I didn't know I started just shadow swinging forehands outside the sideline just to feel like I had some reach over here.
That reach portion is kind of important.
Yeah, I feel like I could help out in the middle a lot with some balls and try to work the point a little bit. But that was one, again, kind of goes back to just enjoying the moment instead of like going back and forth with somebody you're playing with, like, oh, like I think I'm better on the left, or
Sure.
I think we could do better if I'm on the left. And
you just let it fly.
He's been playing for a long time. He felt very comfortable there. I think he used a different paddle in every game in practice that we played in. Whatever made him feel comfortable, I was just going to try to adapt to.
Speaking of paddles, we were talking how you weren't going to last long with a certain paddle, right?
Yeah, come on,
and then we noticed that you were switching paddles in this last event.
I said 2 or 3 months, but you went back to it for the men's dubs.
Yeah, and that was a very good choice. I think the extra pop and stuff for singles was very helpful. I think I needed more time with it before playing in mixed and men's. I felt my biggest thing was just the feel of the ball up at the kind of balls out of the air. Some drives, for some reason, it felt like it was
Sliding
kind of
off.
slipping off the paddle. Yeah, sliding off the paddle at times, and
shit feeling.
I didn't feel in total control of what I was doing, which internally pissed me off and took me back to the old Luxie for the next day, in which I felt very in control, had a lot of fun with it.
Are you going to stay with
Still
that
can
even as
generate.
the time progresses now? Do you think that's going to be the paddle you remain with? Because it's
I
going to get
think
hot. Like 95 in Atlanta, that ball's not moving. It's a
right. No,
marshmallow.
I think actually um, earlier today I went out and got some reps with the Amped Pro that it'll be coming out here very shortly.
The black one, yeah.
Uh, mine's like a reddish orangish color or
Okay.
something, but
That's cool.
I think that will make a debut in carry for sure.
Okay.
It has a little bit of grit on it. I was hitting some saucy little dipping forehand drives, which felt good. But also, for me, honestly, I love the Lux. It's just some counters where it just doesn't come off just
Right.
because it's so soft and it's a thicker paddle,
Well, that's
obviously,
the
as we
thing is
all
the
know.
hand
And
speeds, the hand battles, like you're going to be faster, but you still will probably
I
lose.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what kind of probed the whole trying to power air anyways. It was like I get into some of these firefights and I play with people and I feel like I'm on the ball, I can read the point, and it's just like, I'm like, dang
Yeah.
it, like
Yeah, I crushed that. What the hell?
I'm sitting there like so yeah, I think in an ideal world, I think whenever the if and when the either 14 or 16 millimeter Lux comes out, that will be a very
That would be sick.
exciting time to
Yeah.
try because I love a lot of things. It's helped me improve in a lot of ways, but I think I'll be rolling to carry with a couple of the old faithful Luxies and probably some Amped Pro Airs that are real nice and some hands battles and
I mean,
yeah.
This is every player's problem. It's like you want the best of both worlds, but you can't have it. You want it to be spinny and soft and touchy and nasty,
Yeah.
but when you go to pop it, it comes off super fast. And to find that balance is really tough.
yeah, but he's unique. Like I don't think anyone else could actually play with a Lux. I don't think there's
Well,
one other
yeah.
guy who could play with it.
But there's a ton of people playing with it. We see
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We see it on the courts.
They're playing rec. I get it, but like I
A
don't
lot
think
of AMs, a lot
a lot of
AMs
AMs
have
are
it.
crushing that
That's what I've
Lux,
heard.
but I don't think there's anyone who can
Yeah.
pop a forehand with the Lux.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, we can't all have some illegal YOLOs, so we gotta
Well
figure
said.
out.
Well said. The floating core, they call it.
I mean, I saw Deckel hit a serve at Dreamland the other day. He hit a serve, uh, was in the court, and it bounced. You know that little fence, wooden little
Over it.
bar air.
Yeah.
Bounced and went over that.
Well, that's
I
the
was
crazy
like-
thing. It's like, not only is
I
it
was
faster, but the spin is insane. It's
I was
so much.
dumbfounded. It was 95% Yola, 5% Vulcan ball, and it was shocking to see. It was
Well,
like
put it in context for you. When I first started playing, the ball never went over 70 miles an hour. Like that was the metric, was 70 miles an hour. That's 2 years ago. And now, like I'm wagering some of these are 95. They have to be.
dude, yeah,
Like it's frightening.
it is. It honestly is. It's frightening. Like you try to speed up a Deckel and he catches it right on a counter, and that thing is coming back.
Wicked.
It's too fast. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So it's a tough. It's a time where you got to find, or especially for I guess for me personally, it's finding the balance of keeping up with that, especially when you get into hands battles, all that, feeling like you stand a chance in those, but also being in control of what you're doing.
Right.
Because I would much rather prefer like a Lux than getting just a crazy poppy paddle and being like, roll
I
the
can't
dice
control
on
it.
what might happen here on
Yeah.
this shot. Like, so
Yeah, that's the
Agreed.
struggle.
Yeah.
I don't know if we covered this, but Jack, I think that you said that the game has changed already within 12 months of playing since North Carolina. Like, what other ways do you think that is? Is it mainly just the ball speed and the paddle technology?
yeah, I mean, I'd probably think so, just because it felt like North Carolina last year. Points were longer. I was probably the one looking crazy, speeding up so much, trying to play very aggressive, and now that seems like the standard is guys are and I think that is almost all related probably to the paddle and the balls, is because I mean, prior to the technology that paddles have now, you weren't able to take a ball off your shoestrings and speed it up and feel
Rotate
good
it.
about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like men's doubles is first strike now, and I think mixed is almost the same, and to a degree. Yeah, I feel like I do. I feel like 12 months later, the rallies of 10 plus, 15 plus dinks that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, you can't do it. I mean, everyone's striking early.
Yeah, it's
First off, where it used to be more like, which would probably have been better, but more cat and mouse, more fun, in my opinion. Like I don't really like the way it's going. It just takes away that subtle nuance, that kind of fun aspect for me.
I would agree. I think it's yeah, I don't know. I think that I think there needs to be a regulation on, because it almost feels it favors hot paddles at
Yeah.
times, and people speeding up, which I don't hate having decent hands and stuff, but it is like the cat and mouse stuff is
Less
definitely
crafty.
gone. I have a great idea for the pickleball tour. I think every player should have 3 or 4 paddles at every tournament, and if for some reason you're allotted those, and if for some reason they all fail, you're not allowed to play, or you can go to
Seems
Pickleball
reasonable.
Central tent and grab the one off the shelf. Let's see if it plays the same, and or we hold an all Lux tournament and we all play with the little Texas
No, I don't want
Test
any
Lux.
part of that. I get fucking roasted.
That's my
I don't have
goal.
that risk
That's
like
what I
that.
want to do. I want to host an all Lux tournament. But no, I think the submitting 74 paddles a weekend and hoping 2 pass, and you're just lighting the ball up and stuff probably needs to change rather quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's getting fast, and it's getting fast quick.
You got any tips to make Travis better?
I mean, no, the guy's nasty as it is. I got nothing.
I'll get better. I gotta get back to having more fun. I want to look like you more on court, where it's like
He really
I'm
does.
enjoying myself. This is fun.
Yeah, it is, and I've had I think two instances. I think the Palm Springs Riley Thomas doubles match. I got too into pickleball and wasn't enjoying myself. Terrible play on my end.
That's what happened to me lately.
And I did it in mixed in Minnesota with Catherine against Fed and Rohrbacher. I think I wanted to beat them pretty badly, and it kind of got in the way of having fun.
Yeah.
And another L. So yeah, I kind of look at those, and that was, and it's almost overdoing it, which probably looks obnoxious at times, but just like I just try to keep thinking about backyard pickleball, just like.
I know, I like that term. And honestly, like if you know you at all, it's not obnoxious. You're not trying to disrespect the person. You're just trying to have a good time.
No.
You're trying to have fun, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some haters that fellow players that don't appreciate it or whatever, but it's how I am. You look at any of my doubles, tennis, go look at whatever. It's not a show. It's not an act. I thoroughly enjoy having fun out there, and if I'm not doing that for a consistent amount of time, then you won't see me playing anymore. So I'm just gonna keep smiling. I'm gonna keep having fun, because I want those moments, win or lose. Like the other day, get off the court and I want to shake my partner's hand or my opponent's hand. Like that was a blast. I lost to Ben in singles and was one of the most fun matches I've had. It's like just enjoy it. I mean, we're hitting a wiffle ball over a net. I mean, come on.
Do you pay attention to memes of pickleball? Are you a fan of theirs?
Say what now?
Are you a fan of memes of pickleball?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did not be.
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think someone said it's the same person that runs NFL memes.
It is.
Yeah, memes of NFL. Yeah.
And who that is, I am not sure.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna figure it out.
But it would be very exciting to see. He's probably lurking around tournaments.
He is. No doubt he is.
Yeah, I mean,
just don't know.
The rumor is he's like a player, like a pro player,
like a low-level pro.
low-level pro player. But I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, it's someone with an ample amount of time on their hands because the rate that those are fired out
Correct.
immediately after something happens is insane.
Well, they
It's
So I don't
definitely
know.
have a team. They have a team of like at least 4 people. I've actually seen The Office before where they're editing film and there's at least 4 guys in there. So
Oh
it's a
wow.
team of
Okay.
people. Yeah, it's a legit business because I think memes of NFL is like over 2 million followers. or
Yeah, it
something.
is.
Yeah. It's
Well, Jack, we don't want to take up more of your time, man. We are
No, you're
very
good.
grateful that you came on and inspired me a little bit to have a little more fun. I'm gonna go practice with this fucker right now and try to enjoy it a little bit.
Dude. Try some crazy shots to go in, go out, whatever. It'll just bring you back kind of my mini tennis in the junior days is what I try to
I like that.
keep it at.
in
Yeah.
rec, he's disgusting. He pulls out every shot on the planet, and then I watch him play on stream, and I'm like, "Where did that guy go?"
Who the fuck is that? He just
Yeah.
tells me that all the time.
I was like, "Why don't you serve like
got
that?
in my
Why
head
don't
a
you
little
hit
bit.
like
I got
that?"
in my head a
It's
little bit.
crazy.
It's the power of overthinking, which I've done a few times in matches already this year, and
Not fun.
yeah, then you wonder why. Well, yeah. So stay loose, keep the wrist loose, keep the arm loose, have fun.
Flippy slappy.
Just wiggle it a little
Flippy
bit.
slappy, baby. I got that shit.
Thanks,
Thanks so
Jack.
much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate y'all having me.